Arms and Eggleston Munitions. BAT Arms is a federally licensed firearms dealer located in Plano, Illinois, with hours by appointment. They offer a large assortment of firearms and accessories, including many unique items to fit your shooting needs. To find out more about BAT Arms, visit the website at batarms.com. And if you're a reloader, I suggest taking a look at what Eggleston Munitions has to offer. Eggleston Munitions is a manufacturer of polymer-coated projectiles which offer the benefits of jacketed projectiles at a price point much more affordable. And the best part, they're made right here in the U.S., located in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Check them out at egglestonmunitions.com, and of course, we'll put the links in the descriptions below the video here. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and start the show here, guys. I want to welcome you, everyone. As soon as I can pull it off the screen share here, which takes a second. But anyhow, I'd like to say welcome to Ryan Wiggins. He's a three-gun shooter we're going to be talking with tonight, and Chris Eggleston from Eggleston Munitions, our sponsor. So you can go ahead and say hello, guys.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's pretty cool to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. And Chris?
Same here. Sounds like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a fun chat. So, and of course, as always, we got Patrick from One Shot Kill It Media with us, too, as our panel member. If he wants to say hello, I don't know if he's still muted or not.
What's happening, guys? How's it going?
There we go. So we're going to talk first with Ryan a little bit. So Ryan, you're basically on the cusp of becoming a pro shooter. In other words, you're sponsored by a couple different manufacturers and things already. If you want to tell us about who you're sponsored by.
Okay, I got a couple of them. Chronological order. The Wilderness Tactical Products has been on board with me for about a year, just over. And let's see, 1776 Clothing, 1776 United Clothing Company, Fox Den Tactical, Adaball Optics, and Thor Supply, small company. It's not public yet, but that's I think that's about it.
Yeah, we were actually talking with Jimmy Labita from Adaball Sites. I think it was 2 weeks ago. So he actually mentioned you that you were his new sponsored shooter and everything, and figured it would be a nice chance to get to take the opportunity to meet you and everything, and kind of talk about what you're doing and everything. So, how long have you been shooting three-gun?
I think this is my 7th month.
Oh wow, so you're even newer than us almost. Probably have done more matches though.
Maybe.
How many have you shot?
Well, I shot 2 small local matches before I went to my first, what I consider a big three-gun match, which was the Three-Gun Nation Southwestern Regional Championships in Texas, and that was in March. I kind of consider that my first three-gun match because that was the first time I had to shoot moving things and flying clay pigeons and run around in all different directions. So our local match was just kind of a lateral movement from box to box.
Gotcha. That's what me and Patrick were actually kind of talking about that, I think, too, right? Like you were saying about Wisconsin, some of their matches in your area are a little bit lacking some of the excitement and so forth, right? Patrick?
Yeah, I mean,
oh, sorry.
I guess, with three-gun being kind of just a little bit more in its infancy stages yet, I mean, I know it's really kind of catching on in popularity now. That's getting more attention in the media. But, I guess... I mean, maybe these courses aren't lacking, but they're just, if they're lacking anything, I guess maybe it's imagination. But I'm sure that'll come with a little bit more time and more people being involved in the sport.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I kind of get that too. So Ryan, before you started in a three-gun, what other type of shooting have you done? Have you done other matches and other types of competition shooting?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 months before I started shooting three-gun, I believe, I started shooting practical pistol.
Okay.
Up at our local match, and my goal is to just get straight into three-gun, but obviously you can't do that, so I didn't have the funding for it.
As far as shooting some of the bigger matches and so forth, you mean, right?
Right, or just gear in general. I mean...
Well, that's true. It is expensive.
I have actually a couple of guys I didn't mention, and I probably won't mention their names, but there was some private parties who had heard my story and how I was trying to get into three-gun, and they donated stuff to me. Like my Benelli, this guy heard me talking about wanting to get into three-gun. He left the gun store, came back in an hour later, and was like, "Hey, do you want this Benelli?" And I was like, "Are you serious?"
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So, and he actually is now a client and a friend of mine. I do a lot of work for him.
Because as you were saying earlier, you're a gunsmith, right?
Right.
Okay. And is that the same Benelli that you were showing me earlier?
Yeah, the Super Black Eagle.
Yeah, if you want to show it to us, you're welcome to, you know.
Oh,
You got
right.
nearby.
I just so happen to have it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
It's an HK and a Benelli all in one or something.
Yeah, so first generation Super Black Eagle was imported by HK because Benelli didn't start importing their own stuff until 2001. So the guy that gave this to me shot it a couple of times, and actually the Super Black Eagle is one of the only shotguns that's chambered in 3.5-inch Magnum only.
Oh, wow.
So he bought it, shot some geese with it up north, and then brought it back and couldn't run low base stuff on it. So it had been sitting in a gun safe for about 10 or 12 years, I think, when he gave it to me. It was brand new, so I had to do some modifications to it. I did a bunch of silicone carbide on the grips, and I refinished the wood and opened up the loading port.
Oh,
titanium nitrided some stuff. Did some more silicone carbide, and then added a match saver.
Yeah, I saw that on there too. That's pretty cool. That's some nice work. So the silicone carbide, how do you actually apply that on there? Is that like how do you actually do this? It's not tape, right? It's actually like a coating.
No, it's the same thing I do on Glocks when I do custom grips on Glocks and polymer guns. I shave it down with a Dremel, and then I put a very thin layer of JB weld. Not the gray stuff, but the clear stuff that you buy at AutoZone. It's the automotive JB weld. Okay. So when you use the gray stuff, it kind of gives you a gray haze to the silicone carbide, which is a naturally like super reflective mineral, whatever it is. But yeah, you just put the JB weld down, you just sprinkle the stuff on there, and do not touch it for a few hours. I know it's really hard to do, but you just got to let it sit, and it comes out really nice.
That is pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I know everyone hears JB weld, you think, oh, JB weld, but
it works on everything.
Yeah,
you know what?
Something like that, I could see it.
I was doing some research and looking on gunsmithing forums, and I was trying to figure out how Zev and all those other guys did that grip. And I got into this conversation, and these guys were talking about trying different kinds of epoxies and stuff, and they all said that JB Weld just holds up better than everything. So
cool.
And it's not cheap. I mean, this is nothing to be looked down on. You know, the little tube of JB Weld is like $13 for the clear stuff.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about some of your successes and so far in your endeavor of doing 3-gun.
Well, first couple major matches, I had some pretty sweet equipment issues. So I didn't score anywhere near to the top, so I don't really have anything to brag about. But met a lot of really awesome people and learned some cool stuff. And I think that's the best part about it so far. My last major 3-gun match, I shot with the Micklicks in Alabama.
Wow. Awesome.
And that right there, man. Such cool people. So
that is one thing I can say about this hobby, or the sport, that the people I've met so far have just been awesome. It's been one of the best things to do. People are so supportive of one another. You make a mistake, people are there to try to help you figure out how to correct it. You have equipment failure, someone's probably going to lend you their shotgun or whatever that they can.
Right.
So
definitely.
I've been really impressed with it. I really enjoy it, and like I said, this is something new for me as well. Just this is you, but so how did you attract the attention of some of the sponsorships?
Well, my first sponsors just came with working in the gun store. They're like, "Oh, this kid's shooting pistol," and I did pretty good my first couple times competing with my pistol. I moved up our local ranks pretty quick, and they saw that, and they were willing to just jump on board and get me into the sport and try to get me going. So after that, it was like word of mouth, like the Adaball, Jimmy. He was talking to the 1776 United guys and the Fox 10 Tactical guys looking for a 3-gun shooter to sponsor, and they were like, "Well, we just happen to have one of those." So
that's awesome. In fact, that is how me and Patrick got hooked up together. Is kind of through the Adaball thing. He was reviewing the micro red dot that they sell, and I was doing that as well. And we started talking. We realized we weren't really that far apart from each other. It's a small world. So. Very cool.
It's a cool world.
So tell us, you said you have a 11-day trip coming up with two matches. Is that right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, I took over as match director at our local club.
Well, by the way, where is local exactly?
Phoenix, North Valley, Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, cool.
So they were doing a 3-gun match or a multi-gun match that didn't have a lot of movement. It was a lot different from what I was seeing at the regular 3-gun matches. Long story short, I became match director and changed it to a 3-Gun Nation club series, the first club in Arizona. And yeah, I forget, what was the original question?
Now I forgot to. I'm sorry. I was just looking something up because I was actually going to ask you something.
Oh, the road trip.
Yes, the road trip. There you go.
So that last, we did our first 3-gun match last month, actually the other weekend, and it was the last month that 3-Gun Nation was accepting scores for the classifiers to be eligible for 3-Gun Nation national championships. So I ran 4 classifiers in 2 stages I designed. The 4 classifiers, that's the minimum to get accepted. So I wanted to try to get everyone in our club, the opportunity to go. It just so happens that I was the fastest shooter, which made the tier 2 spot. So I got an invite to national championships in Tulsa, Oklahoma on October 7th.
That's cool.
My buddy Brian signed me up for the Navy SEAL Foundation 3-gun event in North Carolina at the Academy Training Center that following weekend as a birthday present. So I thought to myself, well, why don't I see if I can get my sponsors on board? And instead of me flying to Tulsa, flying home for 4 days, flying all the way across country, North Carolina, why don't we just put my ass on the road, give me some product to go around all the gun stores? And there's 3 military bases on the way to North Carolina. The wilderness belts and stuff like that. I'm just going to be stopping by gun stores and shooting ranges and letting people shoot my rifle and try out some gear. And then I'm going to finish up in North Carolina at that Navy SEAL 3-gun event where you have no idea what it's going to be like. I'm hoping they get us in the water, but I doubt it.
Speaking of the water, actually, I know Patrick is planning on coming down to the 3-gun match we have going on this weekend that actually Chris was a sponsor for our first match this year of Eggleston Munitions. But speaking of the water, we actually are going to have a boat on one of our stages, believe it or not.
Yes.
Yeah, they're actually building like a as far as I understand, this is the plan. It can always change, but the plan is something like a small pond, like pool type thing that's not real deep, just deep enough to float the boat, and it's going to be on one of our actual ranges. It's going to be kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure Patrick's excited about that too. He's never shot 3-gun, right?
Yeah, I think that's going to be awesome. So that'll give me an interesting run for the first time of really giving it a go.
Right. Exactly. So I was also going to say, Ryan, since you're out in Arizona, you said near Phoenix, did you say?
Yep.
Is that right? Okay. Do you know where Goodyear, Arizona is?
Yeah, I used to work down there.
Do you know the guys over at Got Ammo LLC?
I do not.
Okay. Well, you should check them out. Their website's gotammolllc.com. It's a veteran-owned and operated company. They're friends of mine now. When I started the channel, basically that's how I kind of got involved with them, and they're actually our series sponsor for our 3-gun series at Aurora Sportsman's Club in Watermill, Illinois, that we're going to be shooting this weekend. So if you're close to them, you might want to stop in and say hello to them. They're really nice people to deal with. I can't say enough good things about them. So
cool.
Having said that, was there anything else you want to add, real quick about your shooting experience? Anything you want to throw out there? Stuff for the future, stuff you're doing now that we didn't cover, maybe?
I don't know, man. It's been a crazy 6 months. Going from shooting a club match to shooting with the Micklicks, and now I'm trying out for the national championships, which is also the 3-Gun Nation Pro Series classifier or qualifier. So I don't know. October's gonna be crazy. I gotta practice.
That's gonna be fun. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit with Chris right now too about Eggleston Munitions and what all he has going on there. So so Chris, yeah, tell us. I know we talked a little bit on the phone recently, but we're probably gonna cover some of the same things I've talked about, just because I'm kind of still want to let everyone else know about what you have going on. So how long have you guys been making projectiles and stuff?
Just about 2 years now. We started out making the plain old lubricated cast lead projectiles for a few months before we kind of started developing our own polymer coating. So we've been doing the polymer coated bullets for about a year and a half. And
that's you and your brother, right? That own the company?
Yep, my brother and I.
Very cool. And you guys are also competitive shooters as well.
Yeah, we do a ton of 3-gun, and I was actually going to ask if you were down in Texas. I heard you said you were going down to the Texas Regional, but it sounds like you're in Arizona, which isn't too far away either. Did you ever get down to the Superstition Mountain match down there? And I'm not sure if it's in Phoenix or what.
Yeah, That's I'm pretty sure that's considered Mesa. They held that out at the Rio Salado Sportsman's Club. I have not shot that match. I know that when I was eligible for it, I think 2-3 months ago, they went off of a lottery system to actually get in, and I had heard everyone signed up and didn't get in, so I just didn't even try. But
I heard the same thing. I've heard it's a real pain to get into that one.
It's a big one. It's apparently the longest running 3-gun match in the country. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And the videos always look awesome. They have some awesome stages and great prize table. Seems like it's popular for a good reason.
Yep, it's a big one.
That's cool. So, Chris, tell us a little bit about some, let's see, where do we want to start? You talked about you just shooting 3-gun and so forth. How long have you been, I don't know if you mentioned this already, how long have you actually been a competitive shooter for?
Probably a little over 2 years. Started out kind of like Ryan doing USPSA, a lot of pistol stuff. It's a lot easier on your wallet to start out with, that's for sure.
Yeah, I believe it. Just from my little bit of experience, I've had this a year and a half or whatever it is, for about a year anyway.
Yeah, and then once we moved to 3-gun, the guns, the gear, the ammo, the expenses just skyrocket. But everyone that I know that started shooting 3-gun, they don't stop. It really gets you addicted.
It does. It is a lot of fun. I mean, I started out in doing practical rifle because I like playing my AR and getting it off the bench and that kind of stuff. And as soon as we got 3-gun, I'm like, I'll try it. I don't know if I'll do any good at it, and I sucked, but had a lot of fun, and I'll continue to do it just for the fun factor of it.
Oh, yeah. I've seen people show up with a Ruger Mini 14 and a Remington 870 one week, and then the next month they have a full-blown Benelli M2 and a raced out AR-15, and they dropped a few grand.
That is kind of my case. Like, I started out with just using an old-school 20-gauge pump shotgun, and then I upgraded to the tooth and nail armory. I don't know if you guys can see all that. It's kind of hard to get a good wide shot of it, but this is my tooth and nail armory MK1919 that I had built by the Logan Bills out there in Tooth and Armory in Versailles, Missouri. So I get the whole idea of all of a sudden you want to get the new equipment and get something that's dialed into what you like and everything, and I like that because I'm real familiar with the AR platform, and even though it's not structurally an AR-15, it still has all the ergonomics of it, and I do like it. So that's very cool. So what kind of stuff are you guys working on right now? I know you got some new products. We've talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's mostly, we mostly do pistol bullets. We have a couple rifle bullets that we played with. We just introduced some new 9mm bullets that are 125 grain and 147 grain, which is something that we've been looking to get for a while. Both of those are pretty darn popular with the competitive shooting crowd, just because you can make power factor easier if you're reloading your ammo, and make power factor while still keeping the recoil low. I think I'm only using 2.8 grains of tight group with my 147 grain loads, which is just a real soft shooting load.
Wow.
But yeah, we were trying to get those bullets going for a long time, and we just had lots of problems with our mold manufacturer getting those things made. So we finally got some deals locked down with the current manufacturer, so we're hoping to introduce even more new bullets before too long. The other big thing we've been playing with is rifle bullets.
Yeah.
We got to keep the velocity sort of low, but I think we're way ahead of a lot of the other coated bullet manufacturers because our coating handles up to about 2,600 feet per second without degrading. And so I actually ran for the He-Man match this year in New Mexico. In my 308 rifle, I ran some of my own cast bullets with the coating on there, and they're hitting shots out to 600 yards. So
wow,
the velocity's up there. And
what was this, like a 308 caliber, or what caliber was it?
Yeah, He-Man. He-Man is kind of the other name for heavy metal division in 3-gun.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you got the 308 rifle, 12 gauge pump, and the 45 pistol.
Yeah, that's really cool. There's only a few people that I've seen run that at our club, but again, it's only been a couple matches, so it's kind of more of a rarity there. But I think it's neat to see it. I think the one guy was using Springfield Armory, what was it, M1A?
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure I'm saying it right, but SOCOM or something he called it. Really nice setup, but yeah, definitely put some holes in the dirt on the ground, for sure with that caliber.
Oh, yeah.
You see that. So, how is you guys are you still making something, or are you making something currently for the 300 Blackout too? I know it's about still a 30 caliber. I don't know if you guys.
Yep, and that's the same bullet. It's a 200 grain or a 208 grain bullet. So it's light enough that you can use it for subsonic use pretty easily in 300
Okay.
blackout, and it's also heavy enough that in a 308 rifle you can reload it to max charge and still keep it under the velocity, under the max velocity that the coating will handle.
Oh wow, that's
So
pretty
you're
neat.
not going to get the great ballistics of a little 135 grain bullet. It's going to have a little bit more of a rainbow trajectory, but you can still plink steel out at pretty good range with it.
That's neat. Yeah, I can't say the coating is really nice. I mean, I know from my experience with shooting your projectiles that my barrel doesn't get all fouled up, nearly as much as I would expect it to. And it runs pretty well clean and reasonably accurate in the sense that of my shooting being inaccurate, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
basically they shoot just as well as any other projectiles I shoot for my skill level, and I've been happy with them. Again, yeah, just good stuff. So that's why I tell people all the time, like, hey, awesome price point, great quality. The accuracy is fine. There's no problems with that. I mean, at least from my judgment, because I'm not an expert with that, obviously. So yeah, I definitely recommend it to everybody. But so yeah, you're mentioning about the molds. You had some new molds made for the 47 grain stuff. How does that work with your equipment? I mean, like, what kind of setup do you have to use to be able to pour all those like projectiles so quickly?
When we first started, we were actually hand casting all of our bullets. So we were using anywhere from a 2-cavity to a 6-cavity hand casting mold, where you're just pouring the lead in from the pot. And of course, that just got old real quick.
I believe it.
Yeah, there's a couple big cast bullet machine manufacturers out there. There's Magma Engineering and Ballisticast. So we got a hold of their machines. All of their machines use 2-cavity steel molds, which is what all of our molds are designed in. So the machine takes 6 of the molds. You get whatever bullet you have, you get 6 of the identical molds made, so you can pour them all at the same time. But yeah, those machines, they crank out anywhere from 1,500 to 3,500 bullets an hour.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So I noticed you got like was that a concrete mixer in the background there?
Yeah, we do use that for polishing bullets occasionally.
I was going to ask you if that's what you did. Now, you're polishing them before or after you do the coating?
Generally before.
Yeah.
If you polish them afterwards, any dirt, any foreign material that gets in there is going to darken the coating, so you'll start out with a real bright, shiny red bullet, and by the time it's done, you'll have this dark, just kind of shitty-looking bullet.
Right. I assume that's why you package them individually by color too, because if you were going to put like a red and a white one together, you're going to get color transfer on it, right?
Actually, the colors won't rub off too much.
No?
That polymer, once it cures in place, it's solid.
Yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure. I was wondering that. So in other words, it's just basically you sort them out just because that's how you sort them. In other words.
Yeah, we package them separately, and that's kind of how they stay until they get to your bench.
Yeah, because the red, white, and blue thing—that's a cool thing. I mean, everybody's got their own color choice and preference, and it's neat that you make them in so many different colors too, as well. Especially like people want to be able to sort out, this load from that load, and they know from what color, what gun they're going to use it in or whatever it is. That's a cool factor. But the red, white, and blue is also neat because the whole patriotic factor as well.
Oh, yeah.
As I'm sure you saw the picture of me with the 50 caliber can that was full or almost full that was loading up, the Patriot pack there.
Yeah, I love getting those pictures from customers. They always come out pretty cool.
Yeah, so it is neat. I love it. But so yeah, what else am I gonna ask you about? I don't know. What are you guys doing as far as your competitive shooting right now and stuff? You and your brother.
Oh, we kind of just wrapped up our season. We're in Colorado, so winter's not too far away. We just shot the Noveski Multi-Gun Championship. My brother and I didn't do terribly well. Some equipment malfunctions and some penalties really nailed us, but a couple of the other shooters on our team, I think, got top 5 finishes in the open division and limited division, so we were really happy for them.
That's awesome. You guys should come out here one year and come shoot with us.
I'd love to get out there.
I know it's tough when you have a business, you're kind of tied to it and stuff too.
Yep.
I get that, but yeah, that would be awesome. Maybe next year or something if you guys can work it into the schedule somehow, depending on what dates we have.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping we find that out early this year because that's one of the things. Like when we want to go talk to the sponsors for the match, the dates are kind of important, and we need to kind of know that in advance. And most companies have their budgets figured out for the year before the year's over, and so that's important. But hopefully we'll have them soon. Our club president mentioned that he's going to try to get going on that a little bit earlier this year with us, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this coming up match we have this weekend. I know Patrick is.
Yeah, I'm psyched for that, man. It'll be pretty fun. I was just talking with the crew at MGS. We're just trying to figure out what we're all going to bring down for who's going to use what, and what gear we have that'll be useful and what won't.
So who all is coming again? I know you and Jake. And also,
yeah, and then a buddy of ours that works at MGS sometimes, Matt, will be coming, and then we think that Eric's brother Brian will be coming down with us too.
Did they already register too for it?
Yeah. We've got the 4 spots. We just want to make sure that we've got the people coming. So
I got you. Okay,
we bought the space. It's
so
just using it.
You guys are all on Squad 3, I take it, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Good, because we have pro shooter Jason Carrillo with us on that squad as well. At least that's
Nice.
how it's planned as of right now. You never know, something could change, but at least as we planned it out, we have Jason Carrillo, sponsored by Armorlight, with us, and Barry from BAT Arms will also be shooting with us as well.
Nice.
So that should be a good
very
group.
cool.
Yeah, you'll probably get a chance to come down and meet him, because I know we've talked here on the show before and everything. And I vaguely looked over the stages. I know the boat was kind of the highlight of the whole thing. So I didn't really bother to remember all the rest of it. But I don't know if I sent you the link to the stages and all that or not. But something you might want to take a look at too, just before you head out. And I definitely recommend planning out the time to get there. So. Because that's going to be a challenge, I know, for you guys. You're about, I think, 3 hours maybe out, maybe a little less than that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hike. It shouldn't be too bad, though. It just all depends on the traffic. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I hope not, because I know you want to be there in time for our shooters meeting, because otherwise they're not going to let you shoot,
Yeah.
The whole safety brief and all that kind of stuff, that's important. But, I'm really excited about this weekend. It's going to be pretty awesome to have you guys down here shooting and everything, and it's going to be pretty cool. So...
Yeah,
I don't know.
We're all definitely looking forward to it. That's for sure.
Did you say Eric was coming or no?
I don't think Eric will.
Eric's
I think
not.
he had something else he had to do. But,
And
yeah.
and for those who don't know, Eric is the co-owner with Jake of MGS Firearms. So what are your thoughts as far as being a new 3-gun shooter, and what are you going to expect, or what do you think? I mean, what are your thoughts in general?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just excited to try it. Like I've shot, for a long, long time, and I've just never really gotten to the competitive aspect of any of it. I've always done it as like something I like to do for fun. Just get out, release some stress. I like to test, optics. I like to test weapons and see what they're capable of. But I never actually put them in a competition setting. And that's one of the things that I'm getting more and more excited about, is being able to actually, kind of run it in terms of, pushing these weapons to their limits, not just distance-wise or build-wise, but just in general usage. How fast can you actually shoot? How fast can you be, or how much can you shoot, and how fast can you shoot and still be accurate and hit what you're really looking to hit? So
there definitely is a balance. There definitely is
Yeah.
a balance to that. I mean, as I found, like if I speed up too much, then my accuracy goes down. You just gotta keep working on your
Yep.
skills. I mean, that's my thought anyway. I don't know if Ryan or Chris want to weigh in on that.
Yeah, and I think we're probably going to be bringing some pretty fun stuff down. I know there's been talk about maybe running one of the scars that they have at the shop, and
Nice.
possibly the Strike 1 pistol that just came out with the real low bore access. It's a polymer 9mm that I think will be a pretty kick-ass gun in general, but we'll just have to see if it's,
He's not going to bring
how
his
it
TP9.
fits for what we're doing. Maybe. I mean, we could run that too. I mean, that's a crazy crazy gun for the price. Like, those things are awesome, and we'll have videos of that coming up sooner than later.
Shoot, my match pistol for the last year has been one of those Kinect 55 S120s.
Yes.
It's been
Nice.
great.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
the TP9. Me and the guys over at MGS, we've been testing those out. We did the test on single action and double action, and I'm just blown away by somebody making a gun that's $350 to $400 that can shoot that well and feels that good at the same time. So I'm excited to see what they keep coming out with. What was it? Jake Kerman from Century Arms was on the show a couple weeks ago, and
Yep,
he
Jacob Herman.
didn't talk a whole lot about that stuff, but it was, you could tell whenever we bring his products up, he definitely gets a little glint in his eye because he likes to hear people are enjoying them, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that was we had a little bit too many, or a few too many guests on, so we didn't get as much time with him as we would like to have. and depth and everything. Because one of the things I wanted to actually talk to him, speaking about 3-gun, was the Century Arms, what do they call it? The Catamount Fury or Fury 2 or whatever. Their shotgun that they got. I can't remember the exact name if I'm saying it wrong or not, but I wanted to ask him about that, and I totally forgot about it. Just between that and the time that we had available because of everybody we had on. So lesson learned, not to put like four like awesome guests on at one night, but it can be tough to manage sometimes because people either, as I mentioned this before last week's show too, is that sometimes it's all or none. You invite people on, they can't make it this week, and all of a sudden they can make it, and you don't want to say, yeah, someone else could be on, and then if that person ends up not being able to be there, and it's a juggling match, totally. So, yeah, I guess I was going to also ask Chris, what I know you mentioned just the one pistol you shoot, but what else do you shoot as far as
when
equipment?
I first started USPSA, I was running a Walther P99, which is also my carry gun. I was mostly into self-defense kind of stuff. I think a lot of shooters kind of start out that way as well. So Walther P99 moved to the Knick 55 S120, which is basically a CZ75 clone, which has been great. It's a $400 gun that outruns just about everyone else out the course. And then for my heavy metal division stuff, I have a Glock 41, which is I just wanted a no frills, basic, inexpensive gun that would work. So it fits the bill.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
Just send that frame out to me, man. I'm an FFL. I'll give you some grip work.
That would be sweet.
There you go. See, this is what happens a lot of times on the show too. Is we're able to link up people with other people in the industry and so forth, either pro shooters, manufacturers, dealers with manufacturers, and so forth. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, just getting together and talking about what we do and stuff, and and whatnot.
I'm having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
My name's Ryan. I like to party.
Nice. I know Patrick and Jake do too. Jake's a big partier. He always comes in and brings up some excitement to our chats. I know that. Jake's a pretty awesome guy. Yeah, I was hoping he was going to be around tonight, but oh well. I don't know what he's up to, but
yeah. Him and his wife have a newborn, so sometimes that keeps him pretty busy.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, I'm sure you've seen his video because you probably filmed it and edited it. The one he just did about the training and stuff, how not to shoot that bitch or whatever.
Yeah, we worked on that one for a while. It was
Tell.
funny. As you could see, we had to reshoot a couple scenes. If you didn't notice the difference. I
like the multiple haircuts of Jake. That's the whole continuity problem with the video. You guys, if you haven't seen it, MGS Firearms on YouTube, you can just type it in and it'll come up with it, and I'll see what's the exact title of that video. Do you remember, Patrick?
How to shoot like a boss.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. How to shoot like a boss, and then in the end of it or somewhere he goes, MGS Firearms training or whatever. He goes, we'll teach you how to not shoot like a bitch. But in that video, he's got his wife talking about like how did he word it, Patrick, about not being a pirate or something like that.
Oh, the girl that's about to be a pirate.
Yeah.
And then she says, "Mama didn't raise no victim."
That's right. And she's holding the scope up to her eye on the bolt action or something. And that was pretty classic, hilarious stuff.
Like telescoping it, you know what I mean? Like in the eye socket.
Yeah, I could actually probably even pull that up and show you guys. But yeah, that was an awesome video. I like his stuff. He's a hilarious guy. Let's see what else I'm gonna say. That's the downside about talking and then trying to look stuff up at the same time. It kind of throws things off and messes it all up. But I'll do a screen share so you guys can kind of see this video here in a second. And also I'm going to show off Chris's website as well for Eggleston. Let's see here. Oh, helps to actually do the screen share if I want to share the video. And to select my feed here.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go. So I'll pull it up. Now you guys can see it. What's really confusing too when you're using this software, by the way, is when you're screen sharing the screen you're trying to work at, all of a sudden you're actually in the chat and you're trying to click stuff that you can't click because it's not actually the video because that's on another window.
Wrong window.
Yeah, exactly. It messes you up there. But yeah, it's how to shoot like a boss, and then he's got all these different weird positions that he does and stuff, and it's pretty good. But I'll kind of fast forward through it. I just like though that his haircut changes throughout this. Plus, what was by the way, Pat, what was the issue with the green screen exactly? That you can kind of tell it was a green screen at the beginning there. Was it just like the lighting?
Oh yeah.
Or what?
Yeah, some of it was like lighting and placement, and like the screen itself is, it's one of the cloth screens that we use.
Right.
So depending on your lighting situation and where you have the person placed, that can make a big difference as to, the chroma key and how effective it actually looks. So, but it's just basically toying with the lighting and the actual background that you're using.
Right. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. It is actually a green screen that you're using, not a white background or something like that, right?
Yep.
Oh, here's the part, by the way, guys, with the pirate. It was pretty fast, but she's just like, yeah, Mama didn't raise no victim, and she's holding the scope up to her eye. But he's hilarious. So you guys definitely check out the video. You can actually hear it and so forth. Better than me just describing it and showing you in a just choppy motion of the video. But yeah, definitely good people to work with and visit over at MGS Firearms. They got a shop up in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Good friends of ours. Patrick is real close with them. That's how I know these guys, just through Patrick. And of course, as we talked about earlier with Ryan about Adaball Sights being a sponsor, that's how me and Patrick got hooked up and how I met the guys at MGS. And it's a small world.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things I think about, like especially after we started doing like the shows and getting a little bit more involved in all the different social media channels that are out there. It's just getting the chance to talk with guys like yourselves tonight, and you never know who's going to be in what area and when. And for me on the media side, being able to do like videos with just random people and just having fun, and being able to promote yourself, promote the products that you sell, that sort of thing, and to be able to have a good time during that process. It just all works together as being like a win-win situation for everybody, and I've had nothing but a blast so far doing it. So
absolutely, that's what I have to say too about it as well. It's been a great experience. In fact, as we talked about this too, Patrick, we're trying to set up a range day too, with a few small YouTube channels like me and you and the guys from MGS, whoever wants, whoever we can get in with it. Just like an invitation-only type thing with the guys that range at 355, which is a brand new range that's opening up in Bolingbrook, Illinois, right across from the Bass Pro on the other side of 355. It's a brand new facility. I'll have to show you guys the pictures of their facility here real quick. I'll pull it up for you. In fact,
here's a question for you guys too. I mean, being out in Arizona, especially Ryan, have you ever heard of the Big Sandy machine gun shoot out there?
I have heard of that.
I have.
Ever had a chance to check it out yet, or?
No, I haven't. Is in Arizona?
Yeah, I think it's in Arizona. I'm pretty sure. It's got to be like out in the middle of nowhere though, for what it is.
Well. Oh yeah, it's up by Wiki up in Baghdad. It looks like.
Okay.
Not too far from Prescott.
Oh.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, I haven't been out there. My friends put one on past 2 years in a row, which is pretty cool. Shockwave in the desert, which is pretty similar. Bunch of vendors show up with machine guns and blow stuff up all day.
Nice.
So
by the way, this is, you guys, I don't know if you guys can see this. You can just verify you're actually seeing it. This picture here of the range.
Yep, it's coming through on my end here.
Cool. All right. So yeah, these are just some of the shots of taken last week of the progress on the building here. I mean, I was out there on the last Monday or whatever it was, when they put up the first wall, the one that was actually, when you're looking at this picture now, the one that's on the right-hand side. I was there when they had a few of the sections up and all the way to the end where they finished that wall section, just hanging out, taking some video. I was hanging out with Pete from the managing partner, as you guys may not know, but I had him on last week. Patrick knows, he met him on the show. We were just hanging out together during the day. Like I said, I was videoing it and stuff and putting together like a mini documentary of sorts, I guess you can call it. Just kind of following the construction of it and kind of what they have to offer and stuff. And I'm going to put together like a little compiled video at the end of that. But we're planning on setting up a range day with them. We've actually talked with them a little bit about doing that. Maybe a few hours or whatever it is out of the day before they open even to the public. But it's a 2-story building too. So right now, as far as I understand, the range is going to be on the first floor. But they have the possibility that if business is doing really, really well, that they can always expand and add a range to the second level as well. But it's a really nice area. I mean, it's literally like you can kind of see from the pictures just the layout of it and everything. It's right in the middle of suburbia, sort of. But they have some property around them, and there's kind of like an industrial area nearby as well. But it's going to be really cool. Really, really nice facility. State-of-the-art type stuff. So I'm excited about it.
So here's a question for you guys too, since you've all been in the competition end of things much longer than we have. What do you guys generally try to do for practice? And not only just live rounds, but is there something that you do that can be pretty effective, like dry firing or just manipulation? What's important in 3-gun that I don't know yet?
That's a very good question.
Loading your shotgun. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
That's key. I think a lot of people go a little overboard with the whole shotgun aspect of things. You can probably find about 350,000 videos on YouTube right now of people doing load 2s and quad loads and stuff like that. But manipulating your shotgun is something that you need to do just so you can be standard with everyone else, so you can meet that par. Because if you're shooting your shotgun and it's running good, you're not going to be significantly slower than the guy who's like top. Does that make sense? So It's kind of one of those things, you're either on or you're not. Your shotgun's working or it's not working. Now they throw stuff out there like slug hits and stuff like that. But the shotgun, if you can get to that level where you can just run it consistently and run it smooth, shotgun's good to go. But obviously your rifle, you're not doing a whole lot of reloads with your rifle. Like I was talking about that today. I run a 40-round magazine in my rifle. I've never had to reload during a 3-gun match unless it was one of the local matches that said shoot 2, mandatory reload, because not a whole lot of matches are going to have you shooting more than 40 rounds or have more than 20 targets on a stage, so double taps on each. And the pistol is definitely going to be the most technical aspect of competitive shooting, I think. There's a lot of natural stuff that needs to come into play with your pistol. Lots of little finger manipulations, holding your hand right, both eyes open, one eye open, getting ready for your follow-up shot, tempo. You got to get that metronome. That's one thing I've been doing for the past 6 months. Is I've been shooting a pistol good since I was 10 years old, but I didn't know that if I had a metronome going through my targets that it would make my overall time faster. So I've been working on that rather than pop, 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 doing a pop, 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 and speeding up your transition. That's where you really start to get into. If you look at like the scoreboards, like the 3-Gun Nation TV show, those guys are split second apart all the way up the board.
Yeah.
If you get one guy that fumbles on a quad load, he's done. That 2 seconds gets him out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, I take advantage of it to answer your question.
The pursuit of being flawless.
Exactly. Smooth is fast is me and my buddy's motto. Smooth is fast. But I take advantage of it because I'm a gunsmith. So in the shop, when someone brings in a rifle, it doesn't matter if it's a Garand or, I don't know, an Armalite or something from the 60s. When I pull it up and look down it, I pull it up like I'm going to shoot it. So I get to look down rifles all day long, and kind of that's my practice, man. Other than that, I get out and compete.
Getting matches under your belt is key.
Yeah, during the wintertime, we can practice out here, go out to the desert. But during the summertime, going out to the desert is off limits. We got fire restriction. It's 115 degrees, and there's stuff out there trying to kill you. So just wait till wintertime.
Very cool, man. Great advice all around. I really appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts about that, Chris?
One other thing I was going to say is you run into some of those really monster shooters out there, and they're almost always totally willing to let you come practice with them or give you tips. And I mean, if you approach them with an open mind, they're usually more than willing to spend some time with you. And you probably will, especially up where you're at. You'll run into some really monster shooters.
Nice. Yeah, we'll have to start putting some feelers out there a little bit, Big Gunner, and talking with more folks too, especially on the 3-gun circuit, just to maybe start seeing, what we can do locally to try to get involved in more matches and so on too.
Absolutely.
Even just, even if it's for us too, like, we're kind of video guys, so we do a lot of the capturing what's going on. And even if it's not necessarily shooting, just being able to create those relationships and talk with other folks that are heavily involved in that type of sport and in that industry can really be beneficial either way you slice it. So.
Speaking of which, as far as the video, by the way, Patrick, I'm sure you're gonna bring your gear down to record everything this weekend. And what I'd like to do is possibly, if you can help me grab some footage, just like some B-roll type footage of the event here and there. That'd be helpful for me because we're putting together a promo video for the club as well right now, which it's just basically it's gonna be like a 2-minute video, but we want to have a few different clips from different types of things like the cowboy action that we got some of that the other day, shotgun sports, open regular range, shooting, and of course we definitely want to get a couple good clips of the 3-gun in there as well because that's like a really big thing right now for our club. That's 3-gun. Besides being a lot of fun, it also helps bring some cash flow into a club, which helps with the infrastructure of the club. Putting up things like covered ranges or improving your ranges in general or your clubhouse or whatever. It helps
Wi-Fi.
make those funds available. Yeah, Wi-Fi. That's a big thing that we really wish we had out at the ranges.
That's what my club just passed. We just passed, and I got a bunch of money, and we're getting Wi-Fi and tablets out there. We're integrating with Practice Score, so as soon as you're done shooting.
Yes.
Boom, your score goes straight into 3-Gun Nation.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. We're actually just starting to use Practice Score. I shouldn't say just. We've been using it this season. In fact, the money that we've been able to bring in from our sponsorship has allowed us to buy, like Chris, this is what you helped us do, is get tablets. We got Kindle Nooks with the Practice Score on it, and one of our guys, we got a couple guys that are in the IT field and stuff, and they got all situated where we can link them all together and sync them all up, and the scoring is done like instantly now, versus like last year where we had to have them all hand calculated, and that took forever. We got 60 shooters. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it takes a lot of handwriting and people working at that to get that figured out. And at the end of the day, when everyone's tired from shooting, nobody wants to really wait to find out who placed where. So.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. We're getting those Nooks. They're like the best price little jobs we can get for what we need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. They work really well. I mean, of course, the technology, there's always limitations on things like temperature and rain and climate type stuff. They got to kind of be aware of and everything anyway, and have a backup plan for just in case. But
we were out there at the 3-Gun Nation Southwestern Regional Championships. It's pretty much rained at every 3-gun event I've ever been to, but in Texas specifically, I think they were running iPads, and it started raining on the second day, so they had trash bags over them, and they were just sticking their hands under the trash bags and working them. It's
exactly. Because I know in the extreme heat they can also shut down too. That's the other problem you run into, like I said. But yeah, that's the cool thing. I think with the Wi-Fi though, I forget how they were doing it. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, our IT guys were messing with that, but like one of them said, yeah, I got Wi-Fi in my truck from here's a brand new like Silverado or something. So I don't know if they're using that because it's right out the ranges. Because our clubhouse is like I don't know how many yards away, but it's on the other end of our property, which used to be an old farm. So it's quite a ways away. So I don't know what they're doing exactly, but they got it figured out somehow.
Yeah. So what we figured out is that when you have the Practice Score on the Nooks, you can actually enter the scores. It saves it on the device, and then we can bring it into the stat house where they have Wi-Fi set up. Right now, they have Wi-Fi set up from a cell phone broadcasting, so we can link that up and upload them to the internet. So luckily, when you hit next shooter, it doesn't disappear without uploading it, which is really cool on Practice Score side of thing.
Yeah, I just remember them talking about linking them together where they just download the information off of one to another, and there's like a master, one that gets it all the information put on it or something. I don't know, because I haven't really dealt with that technical side of it myself, but it was kind of interesting to see that we have that now, and I'm really happy we do because it just sped up the process a whole lot. But it's something that's in its infancy at our club, and it's growing, and it's going to continue to grow, I think, and it's kind of the with a lot of sportsmen's clubs you have.
Which is really cool in practice. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's all right. I heard your video in the background where we were playing, but
my buddy said it wasn't working.
Oh, the link or something?
No, you got it. Sorry.
Oh, okay, no worries. So, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now, but you derailed my train of thought. So, they, now I just totally lost it. I had it there a second ago. Now I totally lost it. Anyway, but, yeah, we're talking about practice score. Oh, with clubs. Like, a lot of times, when we're talking about 3-gun and developing 3-gun, a lot of the clubs are founded by people who've been around a lot longer than I have, and a lot of the 3-gunners have been, is a good way to put it. So they have a different school of thought on things. A lot of them are bench rest shooters and shotgun guys and things like that. But I think they're starting to see the value in what 3-gun and action shooting sports as a whole has to offer, especially when it comes down to the money. And like I said, being able to build infrastructure in their club and everything, it's a great way to do it, and it's a fun way to do it at the same time. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know our club, we're looking at down the road, we want to develop the backside of our ranges to increase our space for our action shooting sports. It's something we're working on with sponsors and stuff like that to help bring enough money to get that done and things like that. But anyhow, yeah, I guess that's about it. Is how much I can say. So.
Well, what you're saying, I mean, that's like the coolest part about 3-gun is you were talking about the equipment and people. One week a guy shows up with a pump shotgun, the next week he shows up with a full-blown Benelli M2, and that's what's awesome about 3-gun is people show up and they're like, oh, what is that on your belt? What are you running? How does that work? And everyone kind of exchanges information, and people let you try out gear, and that's what I love about the sport is so far 99% of the people I've met in this sport are awesome people, and they're willing to teach. They're all have that natural teaching ability.
Right.
I think that goes hand in hand with the technical aspect of 3-gun. For a lot of people, manipulating 1-gun in shooting competition is kind of tough and nerve-wracking, and then you jump out and there's 3 guns, 3 different types of ammo, and then some stages you got to shoot a couple clay pigeons, and then you got 2 slugs you got to hit, and then there's more clays. So if you got to miss, you got to figure out real quick on the fly, oh shit, where do I put this bird shot? Because I got 2 slugs coming up, and I think that's my favorite part about 3-gun.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, like when we had our first match, one of the things that you mentioned or reminded me of this when you were talking about the shotgun part of it. We actually had like a popper that you'd hit, and then it would flip a clay up in the air.
Right.
Okay? And I thought it was pretty freaking cool, and I've never done that before. And the last time I ever tried to shoot like something in the air was like trying to shoot like trap or skeet, whatever you want to call it, back when I was like 13 years old, and I wasn't very good at it then. And so I'm like, oh, this would be kind of a challenge, but it's one target. Let's see what happens. And luckily I nailed it on the first try, but I was still too slow to finish the stage in the part-time because it was the first match I ever did. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it nonetheless.
So check us out. To game it a little more, take it up another level from what you're talking about, that popper that falls down, and was the clay pigeon sitting on a little piece of foam that acted like a teeter-totter?
I don't remember. I thought it was like spring-loaded somehow.
Okay, well, there's some that are on like a belt, but the ones where the popper falls and it makes the clay pigeon come up like a teeter-totter. Now, if you run a high brass pheasant load on there and you shoot that thing, it's going like 30 feet in the air.
Oh,
and
that's a good
There's no rules against that. So when I see those, I'll throw in like an upland prairie, high brass 1,500 foot per second 6-shot, and I'll smoke that thing, and that gives me another 3 or 4 seconds of hang time to either play with it. And what's cool about 3-Gun Nation is if that thing breaks, it counts as a hit.
Oh yeah, so you're saying if just the velocity of your initial hit at it causes it to break in the air?
Yeah, but then you still got to shoot. Even though it's broken, you still got to shoot. You don't have to aim.
Gotcha.
So a lot of guys were gaming it that way. I was just trying to get more height out of it, but
that's the fun part about this is just the you get the pressure factor, and it helps you actually learn how to shoot under a little bit of stress too.
Yeah, I think that was actually Ben Hayes of Hayes Custom Guns told me to do that. He's like, hey man, throw in a high brass, they'll go higher. I was like, oh, good thinking.
That's a cool tip.
Yep.
So anyway,
it's cool
I guess
too, sorry, real quick, but that's what's awesome about 3-Gun too is he's giving me those tips, but at the same time, we're in the same class. We're competing against each other. Yeah, exactly.
I can't agree any more with you about that. That's the level of sportsmanship that I've seen in this sport, where it doesn't matter. People will help you out because it's more or less about having fun and everybody doing as best as they can do, basically. And that's the greatest thing about it. I couldn't believe it. Like when I first went out to do any type of action shooting sports, the first thing I tried was a practical rifle. Never shot a match before, but what attracted me to it was I saw some pictures that a friend of mine had posted on Facebook of doing practical rifle, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. You know, AR-15, I'm used to being indoors in a range, shooting at a piece of paper in front of me at a short distance, and I'm like, this would be kind of cool to be able to move and shoot and do different things. I'd like to check this out. So I went out there, and I'm like, I'm a big guy, so I'm kind of like, you know, don't have the highest confidence level about doing this stuff, and I was like, I don't know how it's going to go, you know, this and that. So I went out there, I checked it out. They did it in 2 sessions. They had like a morning and an afternoon session. So I went, you know, watched the morning one, hung out with everybody, just kind of went through the motions, just kind of seeing what they were doing and that kind of stuff. And you know, afternoon came, and I signed up to do it, and got in, and I did it, and I hadn't looked back. And everybody's been very supportive of doing it, you know. So that's all I have to say about that.
So are you the match director of your club that just started doing 3-gun?
No, I'm not. And realistically, even if I was interested in doing that, I'm not at the level where I would feel comfortable trying to do that yet, because I'm still learning, you know.
Yeah.
I don't have enough matches under my belt and enough experience yet. I'm basically like the sponsorship coordinator for our 3-gun series.
Okay.
So I'm the guy that's talking with all the sponsors, like Chris here, who sponsors our stuff too and everything. So yeah, that's basically my part in all of it. But it's a lot of fun. That's the main thing I can say, and it's so enjoyable that I definitely want to keep doing it for as long as I can. Most people feel the same way to get out there and do it. So I'm sure Patrick's gonna have a ball with it this weekend.
Oh, hell yeah.
That'll be fun.
I'm really looking forward to it. Like, you know what I mean? It's fun to have a hobby, but when you do video and media production, photography and stuff like that, whenever you hit the range, it's about what can I make at this point, and it's not about having fun with it as much anymore. And this is where I think the competition stuff will allow me to actually just get back to doing, you know, strictly like just having fun and getting out there and having a blast. As opposed to really just focusing on how can I create more content for what my you know, regular job is supposed to be. So, you know what I mean? I'm looking more towards the fun aspects here, and I can't wait to get out on a course and try it.
Oh, absolutely. So, Chris, I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about as far as what you have on any sales or promotions, anything like that on your website. I kind of pulled it up here, and I was going to kind of show everybody so they can go check out Eggleston Munitions. .com.
Yeah, right now we've got a sale on slick guns. Seems like a pretty popular website for if you want to find deals on components and stuff.
It's like the best.
Yeah, you get your best bang for our buck with slick guns. But yeah, we have an on sale page where we have all of our Patriot packs and all of our new bullets all on sale. And then in addition to that, we have a slick guns coupon code you can use for an extra 7.5% off.
Nice.
So we also have a Facebook page where we usually post any new coupon codes.
Awesome.
I don't think there's a single day in the year where we don't have at least something for a discount. So if you're ever shopping, make sure to check that out.
Yeah, this is an awesome deal. A Patriot pack with the red, white, and blue. I mean, it looks like, you know, you've got them in the 9mm, couple flavors of that. You got 40, 45, and you got some larger bulk packs as well too, like 3,500 count.
Yeah, those would definitely be the cheapest price per bullet you can get with the bulk pack.
I would say that's a good price right there.
Yeah, we pack as many as we can into one of the USPS flat rate boxes.
Oh, I know. I'll tell you this. My post guy loves you guys.
Oh,
He comes up to the door with this heavy package and like, you know, it's like he barely can carry the things. It's all heavy lead. And he's like, yeah, you know what's inside there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm lucky. My postman's a competitive shooter as well.
Awesome.
Which was funny because he actually, back when I was still running the business from my house, we were having lead delivered, and some of the lead came through USPS. And the mailman just came up and asked, "What the heck is in this box?" And I'm kind of apologetic and telling him that we're getting lead in and bullets and all that kind of stuff. And I thought he was going to kind of ream me out for constantly having several 100-pound packages in his truck, but he was like, "That's awesome," and he was telling me he's got his own little YouTube channel where he reviews guns, and I've seen a bunch of matches and stuff. So he ended up being.
I was going to say the mail delivery people and the UPS guys at the gun store are definitely regular customers.
Oh yeah.
Of ours.
That's so funny that you guys are experiencing that same thing. I was actually outside and doing some pictures of my AR-15 with the Adaball MCRD and the American Defense riser mount on there, and sure as shit, my mailman comes up. He walks outside. He's like, "Looks like you got a nice weapon there," and he's just, he comes down. We talk for like 15, 20 minutes. And then literally just this weekend, I went into MGS, their actual local shop,
Yep.
and sure as shit, he's like right in there, like talking guns with those guys too. And it's funny just how it works. It's like there's a lot of people that love this stuff, but it's one of those things where you just don't know it until you actually sit there and talk with somebody about it. And I think that's one of the really cool things about the firearm, industry and competitive shooting and everything like that is it's still a people to people type interaction type thing. You know what I mean? Where you actually have to talk to somebody and you can learn something from each other, as opposed to it just being like, I'll just look it up to know this or this about it.
Absolutely. And it's funny that you mentioned that story about having like your mail guy and stuff that was interested in, and has a YouTube channel, all that kind of stuff. Because after I left my recent place of employment, one of our sales guys actually somehow found me on YouTube as well, and he's like, "Hey, it's cool to see you out here." I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting that you found me. I didn't know you were into guns. Awesome, So, do you guys have anything else you want to add before we end the show here tonight?
I do. I actually, when you asked me at the beginning of the show, when you asked me who my sponsors were, I kind of screwed up a little bit, and I forgot a couple people. I just gotta throw it out there, man. My CrossFit coaches at CrossFit Blade have been like behind me as much as everyone else, and they're one of my biggest sponsors, man. They push me to be a stronger athlete and faster, and it I didn't want to leave them out. And also my rifle sponsors, KE Arms.
Awesome. If you feel free to send me a link, you can send me a message later on with all your sponsors on a list. We'll throw the hashtags in the video description too for them as well. Because we appreciate the people that support our show. So, we want to.
I got them, all of them, every single one of my sponsors. I think there's 8 of them now. All of them are involved in my club series. They all put stuff on the prize tables. We got banners up, and we got local gun stores involved too. But we're doing prize tables at every single monthly match. So they're all in it, man. They're all trying to help us beef up this sport. That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Making it bigger, getting junior shooters involved.
I know Jesse Tischhauser. We had him on the show 2 weeks ago. He's a pro shooter. I don't know if you know him or not. I think he friended you on Facebook or something, or friends with you on there. I know, for example, I mentioned earlier about people on the show and getting linked up together and stuff. Jacob Herman was talking about donating some firearms for a prize table for a youth program that they have. That
awesome.
Jesse's putting on or working with. So that was really cool of him to do that. So anyway, Chris, you got anything else you want to add?
I was actually going to ask Ryan, do you have a bullet sponsor? Do you reload your stuff?
No, I don't. I used to reload when I was like 12 years old, and my grandfather thought that the world was going to end, so he had me in the garage cranking stuff out. But I do not reload. I have a friend who reloads for me. He wants to start an ammunition company, but he's always looking for projectiles too. So I saved your site. I'm going to pass that on to him.
I appreciate it.
I was going to mention something when those blue bullets showed up the other day at Sunday at a USPSA match. I was cleaning up and I found a round in the ground. It was a live round and it had this blue bullet. And I looked at it and what the hell is that? And I threw it in the bucket. But I'm pretty sure it was your bullet.
Yeah, it might be.
It was like light blue, like a baby blue.
I know they got 2 shades of them because I know the Patriot Pack blue I think was a little darker than the first ones I got from you guys.
Yeah.
I think there's like a metallic blue and a regular blue, something like that.
Yep.
So very cool. So yeah, if you guys have anything else to say, we'll go ahead and wrap up the show for tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us on here. I'm glad to chat with you guys. And
thank you. And you can stay on for a minute when we end the show. We'll talk afterwards a little bit. So again, I want to thank you, Chris, for coming on. I want to and also for sponsoring the show as well. Again, everybody check them out at egglestonmunitions.com. I'll put the links below. And Ryan, thank you so much too as well for
thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We'll have to do this again sometime. Have you on for sure. And Patrick, as always, and we'll see you this weekend coming up.
Yeah. Get it done.
Yes, at the Got
There we
Ammo
go.
LLC.
We'll have video evidence for you guys to go ahead and critique us on. So you'll have to let us
Exactly.
know what we all effed up.
Yes, exactly. And Patrick, I'm gonna have you actually film me too a little bit, I think, so we can get
For sure,
another angle. Because when people watch on my camera on my earpiece, my ear protection, you're only seeing that one perspective. So you'll see where I mess up more so without that. But yes, thanks again. We'll see you this weekend. Got Ammo LLC 3-gun series at Aurora Sportsman's Club. And again, thank you to BAT Arms, our other sponsor as well. Until next time, guys. Of course, as I always say, go out and have some fun shooting.